Hello everyone, welcome back to SketchCraft Live. I am very calm. Now I'm just kind of focused right now. So basically I'm coloring up the Psylocke piece. I did a small test here, you can see, just kind of figure out what I want to do, which direction I'm going to go in. The thing is I really want my digital coloring and that process to be smooth compared to my saucy art. And then to only do the Copic fully painted thing during commissions. The problem is this is a commission. So I got I don't know. I guess a more rational human being would have, you know, just done this the way I normally do it and then figure this out later. But I want the whole set to sort of, move on with it. So basically, these are my actual drawn line arts. Let me turn this color off now. So that I physically drew on the paper. Where is, here we go. Slightly easier to see. So that's them. The thing is I really want this to be smooth and clean. So I'm going back to my original digital lines, doing basically, I'll be doing flat paints here, flats. And then I'll do some, once I get the flats done, I'll do some base lighting. And then a cell shade that gets blended together to create this sort of cleaner kind of animated paint, Digipaint thing. And the reason for this is that, one, it would eliminate 3 hours from my work in that I wouldn't have to physically print it out. Two, I could do the line arts, later for if I wanted to sell this with the stuff. It's kind of a whole thing, but basically, um, I would really just like to keep my original drawing and not to do things twice unless I, want to have a piece of line art to sell or something like that. So I can always do it later. But that and cleaning up this stuff and everything, it would look fine. It'd probably be just about where I was at. Once I clean it all up, don't let this fool you. I would paint more around here and touch it up. But the fact is that it's just unnecessary. I mean, it's just an extra step. The only reason why I even do that is one, like I said, for commissions, and then doing the Copics. You had to print it back out, render it in Copics, but I'm not doing that. So this rougher digital line arts would be enough to do undercolor and then paint over with. So I don't think it's that far off from my rough sketches, which is where this is a rough sketch from Game Cave. When you kind of like compare the two, it's not that different. Um, but this way I can just save time because I just I gotta teach myself to be more efficient this year than anything else. So let me just get ready to get going here. And I'm tired of overthinking stuff, and it's just part of my career has been like chasing processes and chasing results and chasing. Very little of it's been like chasing what I want. Like the saucies were, and to an extent the Copics were, but the Copics were like just a way of trying to say, hey, now I can actually have full colored, commissioned art and stuff. But this is my black switch. So I'm rambling. Anyway, let me move on. So basically what we have here, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete the hidden layers. Go ahead and save that. Let me do a little test really quick too on resolution. Because right now it's full size, so let me take it down to 6. 4. I think it's roughly the same pixels, but it would be like half. I can always replace save myself a little bit of design space. All I did was just change it down to comic book size and pump the resolution up to 400, which is really just shifting pixels around. And so I save like half the end result is that it takes half the memory, which means I'm not covering large pixel areas. The more pixels you have in an image while you're coloring or drawing, basically is the bigger the canvas, unless you're working zoomed out. But if you start to work in like this far, like say at 100%, it's going to get pretty difficult to 100% before would have been like this. So you see what I mean? Like I just like doubled my canvas and then cut down on some of that. You can always up-res back to your cleaner lines, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so what I need to do first is just go through and actually finish my line arts. All right, so let's just, and I think with future pieces, I'm just gonna, I had a really good color flatter before, and I think I'm just gonna move forward and send her these and have her start doing that if she still does it. She was really good, and it would just save me, again, time I could be drawing. And she's much better at it than me. Let me walk you through my setup really quick because you're probably wondering, hey, how are those lines coloring themselves? So the lines are separated. Hold on, this is my custom shader. Shade monger. So let me turn. So the lines are already separated. They're turned. I turned them a shade of red. It's PMS 209. Set it to vivid light. I made a modification to the nose, and then duplicated it and set it to multiply. And so when I color under it, it gives the lines a tint. And the vivid light, yeah, it's set to 100%. But like I said, this way it saves me from, I get a little bit of color tint plus fluctuation and not have to really do it myself. So the goal is to get the flats done, and then I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then I'm gonna color. She was way better at this than me. I would normally just send it, say, hey, can you do this, but I hate doing that to artists, like sending them stuff on a weekend, so what I'll do is just do it myself and then hit her up and be like, hey, are you up for some stuff? How much would you give me? I've got this many to do, save myself a lot of work. Go ahead and eliminate that. Okay, wonderful. Actually, select the layer. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect. When I do it, when I pay for it, I'd like it to be, but I'm just not very good at it, so I have to accept the talent that I have. Like, well, not what I'd want, but yeah. And I have a color roughy here. I did color roughy for sampling from my initial color picks. Let me fill the boot in first. I think one of the mistakes I made early on, and maybe it wasn't a mistake, but I definitely spent like a couple years making sure all the lines were like, I mean, the digital line work that I did was probably too much. It was really good, but Um, when you're coloring your own stuff, doing that kind of thing, kind of pointless. In a way, I'm glad because it made me really good at drawing digitally, which I was not able to do. So, you know, what really opened my eye was when I was working at Play. I would get art assets from Japanese companies, high res art assets, that stuff you'd never normally see, and just artists that was like, oh my god, this artist is like Hung Baek Kim and guys from Grasshopper, Disgaea, uh, Harada and stuff, and I get it. I'm like, oh my god, and then I would open it up and look at it, and up close it was like it just was not anywhere near as clean as I thought it was, and those guys are a lot of them are like they can draw well, but they also paint, and painting is about form, about tons of contour lines. So as much as I love that stuff, and I think traditional art helps inform digital art, it doesn't have to be you know super perfect. Probably one of the reasons why I don't like the look of a lot of American comics, like when they make things too moral stuff specifically. Sometimes I really like it, but I gotta get some stickers for my Cintiq. Yeah, it's blue. Probably helps if I leave the Q&A on, huh? Alright. What I also need to do is come up here and above the black, start to make a swatch. And then here, get these little wristbands of hers, bracelets. That's her. Let me get the head. The headshot. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfectly on the line because I'm going to paint over that stuff anyway. You can lock the transparency. Um, Fill in her costume. I should subtract that and then the lips too will get painted over, so it's really just eyes will get painted over. This is just so when people are watching, don't go, oh, her eyes are missing. I think that's that. Alrighty. So let's see. What time is it? 4:50. I got time to set up the lighting, I think. This is my initial color roughie for the lighting. So I'm sort of going to attempt to paint that here. So, um, just airbrushing. And then I will start with trying to light her little key light from behind. Little. This is weird. So it's erroring out when I use Photoshop. Something is causing an issue that never caused an issue before. My whole week's been like this, last 2 weeks, just weird Adobe issues. And now it's just fucking with. There's plenty of RAM. I don't know why I keep selecting the C drive as a scratch disk. But, I'm gonna have to figure out what's causing it. It was happening the other night when I was doing a Digipaint, but that makes no sense. I've done this a million times, never had a problem. Now it's erroring out when I screen share. I think that's good enough to start. So that's a good start. I'm gonna try launching this through Chrome next time. I used to have errors with Chrome, but Firefox isn't doing me much better anymore. So we'll see what's causing that issue. Let me just double check. My whole week's been just a colossal waste of technical problems. It's fine. I usually go like 6 or 8 months, no problems, and then they all occur at once. Doesn't add anything. The real work is just getting the rendering done. It's 5 o'clock. I gotta eat. All right, I'm gonna take off till about 8. I'll be back at 8, and I'm gonna finish this up, and then we'll go through all the rendering stuff and cleaning it up and everything. And I'll push the lighting schemes even more. Right now, it needs like I could tell you right out the bat. She needs to be lit beyond the basic rendering. So that's a whole nother, yeah. So like I said, there's her rendering and then there's the lighting that kind of needs to get done. It's a hard, I can just sort of airbrush in, make it more smooth. Yeah, I think that'll. So you can just see what some basic tinting you can just sort of key in the light source. All right, well, food calleth Rob. I'm gonna go get that taken care of, and then come back and get this going. And hopefully the damn thing doesn't crash on me next time. Thanks for hanging out. I will talk to you in a few hours. Bye.